Always remember, guys, that the battle is within. It is not without, but within. Every answer lies within ourselves, within each individual. It's know thyself. As I always say, it's the answers to your life. The answers of this very cosmos reside in here, in this heart, in this being within us. The answers are inside. So know thyself. Um, and the battle is always inside. The battle is with ourselves. We often just basically make the mistake of thinking that we're fighting the world and fighting others. And granted, like, yeah, we are victimized and things do happen from the outside. But you know what's the secret that nobody is talking about? Well, what does that mean? What does that matter? Because at the end of the day, regardless of what happens on the outside, what can we do about it? Well, I just said it. What we can do about it is what we can do about it. This. Right, this. So if something happens on the outside, it's very simple, guys. Like, I'm just trying to basically, like, reinforce the truths that you already subconsciously know. That's all I'm really doing. Like I always say, I have no agenda. Just after truth. Truth is my agenda. So trying to always simplify things and always, keeping it simple, stupid. If if something happens out here, all right, you can't do anything about that. That's not up to you. It's literally not. So number one, don't beat yourself up, because now we do things to self sabotage ourselves. But I'm talking about if something happens out here, if you get victimized in some way, some kind of adversity hits you, right? You didn't control it. You didn't make this happen. All right, all right. So that's over. That's done with. It sucks. Whatever. That happened. So what can you do about it now? Well, you don't. This out here is external to you. You don't control this. This is like the universe. This is other people. This is adversities. This is whatever. This is not you. This is you. So if there is anything in the world that you are going to do about it, then it's in here. It's simple, guys. We can't do nothing about this out here. The bitching and the whining and the moaning is like, it's so legitimate. It really is, because shit happens that just shouldn't, right? It's just not fair, and we didn't cause it again. And I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna argue that. That's totally true. The thing is, what's the next step? Because either that can just persist or something can be done about it. All right, and if something's gonna be done about it, then it comes from us as individuals. Everyone, from me, the guy you see talking to you right now, from you, the person who's listening. It's us. If we're going to do something about anything, then it's us. The battle is within. We literally don't control anything but this. Look at this outline. Look at that. That's all I control. That's it. Whether you look at it from a physical standpoint manifestation, whether you see it as spiritual, mental, they're all valid, and I'm not even trying to get, again, I'm kissing, right? I'm not even trying to complicate it. However you envision it, this is all we got, in whatever dimension, whatever, trying to think of another word, but like whatever manifestation, however you see it, this is all we got. This is all we can do. So if we're going to conquer the world, if we're going to conquer adversities, then we got to conquer us. Because if we are not internally strong, then we can't be externally strong, right? Meaning that we don't affect anything on the outside if we cannot first affect something on the inside. So it's be the change you wish to see. You've probably heard that expression before. It's be the change you wish to see. If you want to change something on the outside, it literally cannot come from anywhere but within. It's like an extrapolation. It's like it's basically a transposition. You take what's in here and you transpose it onto the outside. There's a certain like energy almost that, and like our beings basically are just energy, right? That's what we are. We are energy. And you hear about positive and negative energy, but this is very, very real. We are like energy fields. So it's what we exude. It's what we what we transpose to the outside. It doesn't come from anywhere but within here. Like, that's it. I'm trying to elaborate on a notion, a subject that's so simple. Like, we can't do anything but what we can do. And you know that. Like, you know that. We all know it. It's all up here. It's all in here, whatever. Like, it's subconscious. But we have to be reminded. And that's, like, really all I'm trying to do is just remind you guys. Because I have to remind myself all the time. We know it. We know it. It's just that adversities get so hard that we either forget it or it becomes very cloudy and hard to see. Because like I said in the beginning, we get pissed off at what happens. Like, there's a lot of shit that happens to all of us. It's just like not right, not fair, yada yada, whatever. But it doesn't matter, because if we want to change that, if we want to do something about it, then it comes from the inside. All right. So then part 2 of that is kind of like screw what's even going on the outside. Like, forget that. Like, forget what happened to you or didn't happen to you. We have to want to be the strongest individuals that we can be, the best individuals that we can be. Not because it has anything to do with what's going on the outside. We simply should desire that because it is what is right. Talking about not having an agenda and simply being after truth, and again, like righteousness, just what is right, that which is right. Well, that is what is right. That which is right is intrinsically. I've talked before in like previous videos and in my posts and everything about, being all you can be and fulfilling that divine purpose. Like, purpose is bigger than how we talk about it. Like, it's a duty. It is. We were sent here for something, and I'm not going deep into. I'm not going off the deep end into that topic. But like, we were sent here for something. We are here for a reason. It's our duty. It is our divine obligation to be all that we can be, because we have a purpose, and it has to be fulfilled. And that fulfillment comes from the work that we do. And that work is internal. It is not external. This is a very simple, like almost just logically deductive sequence of thought, sequence of, again, deduction. Like, it's simple. You just have to boil it down and stop, complicating it. We're all guilty of complicating shit. And the truth is the funny thing is, truth innately is simple. Truth is not complex. Truth is, like, seriously, stop and think about it. Let me give you a minute to think about it. Truth is truth. Truth is what it is. Like, think about that for a minute. The truth is the truth. A fact, if you prefer to think about it as facts, like a fact is a fact. 2 + 2 = 4. It ain't complicated. It's just when you start introducing all these variables and you're like, wait, 2 + 2 = 4, but there's like a 2 over here as well, and there's like an 8 over there. Well, those shits don't matter, because all it is 2 + 2, and that's my age-old favorite analogy, kind of, is 2 + 2 = 4, because it's just simple and it's kind of like ultimately illustrative, but it's just boiling it down, guys. And the truth is that nothing matters outside of us. Like, that is the simple truth. That is it's the internal truth of us. Like, it's the only truth that matters. And this goes back to what I talk a lot about: choices. It's our choices, guys. Like, we have to first identify that the battle is within, and then choose to fight it. And that's really as simple as it is. And that's pretty much where I wrap up. We have to not only be able to respond to our environment by fighting the battle within, and then being able to take those weapons that we're forging on the inside and then fight that adversity on the outside, but it's more intrinsic than that even. Like, we should be doing that anyway. We should be fighting that battle every day regardless, because we have a divine duty. You can even take the word divine out if you want, but like, we have an innate and an intrinsic duty to this universe, to ourselves, to be everything that we can be, because it's just part of our purpose. It's just what we are. Like, anything that is done, there's a truth to it, that anything that is done should be done as perfectly as possible. The very notion, the very like idea of half-assing something is not in line with universal truth. It doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit. So, because if something is half, it's not real. Think about the very idea of something being half. To be half is not to be whole, and not to be whole is not to be fully real. Think about it. Something that is, right? And if you take away a part of that thing, it no longer is. It's only a part of that thing. It's not the thing itself. You've taken away a part of its identity. You've taken away a part of its DNA, its nature, its essence is maybe the best word. You've taken away a part of that essence. And when you take that essence away, it's no longer the thing itself. So to bring this full circle, when you half-ass something, you're actually betraying truth. You're betraying the universe itself. You're doing an injustice not only to the universe, but to yourself as a microcosm of the cosmos. A little bit redundant there, microcosm of the cosmos. That's actually literally what the word is, microcosmic, a micro version of the cosmos, funny enough. But that's why we have a duty to fight this internal battle, because if we are anything less than our complete total selves, our truest authentic selves, the fullest version, the truest version of our authentic self, then we have betrayed ourselves. We've betrayed the universe that created us. We've betrayed our purpose. We've betrayed everyone around us, because we're not good to them. We can't serve anybody else. That's a huge part of this, is we can't serve anybody else if we can't serve ourselves first. We can't serve anybody else if we don't have the tools to serve them, right? You have to have the tools to serve. You have to have the tools to fight any battle. That's what this internal battle is about, is forging those tools with which we can then fight this battle of life. But if we don't forge those damn weapons first, then we don't have anything to fight with. And you thinking that you can fight otherwise is a joke. You can't go into a battle without weapons. Like that was like a famous instance. It's terrible. It's morbid. It's horrible. There's a famous instance, if I'm correct, from like World War I or World War II, where Russian soldiers were being sent into the front lines like weaponless, or with like just bullshit weapons. Like they couldn't fight and they were just getting mowed down. It's just an example that comes to mind, if I'm not mistaken, historically on that one, and it's happened other times. So there's a good literal example of what happens when you don't have the tools to fight a battle. We have to have the tools to fight this battle of life. That's literally what this is. Like, that's it. Everything I've been talking about, that is the consummate explanation. We are fighting this internal battle to forge ourselves into the ultimate. You hear about, like, the term human weapon. It's more of like in a martial kind of like MMA sense, but like it's what it is. We have to forge ourselves into the human weapon. That's what we're doing. You think about it, spiritual weapon, whatever. But we are forging ourselves into the weapon that can fight this battle, that can kill the darkness. That is that most lethal enemy that I always talk about. If we don't fight this battle, if we don't forge ourselves, because nobody can do it for us. The process, the molding, the forging, the actions in the crucible, they're ours. We have to own them. Nobody can do it for us. And if we don't, the truth, again, it's not bad or good or anything. It is truth. It is what it is. It is truth. The truth is that if we do not do that forging, we are incapable. We don't have the weapons to fight with. We ourselves are not the weapon that we must be to fight this battle. We are the weapon, guys. And that's what we're doing. That's what this me versus me battle is. That's what this internal battle is. It's us becoming what we must be to live this life the right way. And again, to kind of go back to what I said a minute ago, to then be able to serve our purpose and serve everybody around us, to help them to do the same, to make this world a utopia, or as close to one as possible. Guys, a utopia is a real thing. It's theoretical, but it's possible. It just requires, that's going down a different road, but that's kind of ultimately what this is about, right? Like, a utopia is this theoretically perfect society, this theoretically perfect thing that has no imperfections, no flaws, no evil, no nothing like that. It's utopia. And be it theoretical, it's possible. It requires the work of every human being. It's totally possible. It's just what I talk about. People are just fucking lazy, and I'm not being rude. Like, people are just, it's a fact. Like, I throw myself in there. I was too. Like, I would say I still am. We all are. It's just a matter of the choices we make to overcome those flaws. We're human, guys. I can't stress it enough that to be human is to be flawed. You have to get over that fact. Like, so many of that's what ego is the inability to make the admission that we are flawed. We want to think we don't have any work to do. It hurts to admit that we have flaws and that we need to get better. It's painful. It's a part of that process of embracing pain and embracing the suck that I talk about, that the only way out is through. And so it's not a bad thing to be flawed. It's not. It's just in the work that we do. But people are lazy, and we just generally don't want to get over that hill because it takes work. And it's you want to seriously keep it simple, stupid. That's as simple as it gets. People don't want to do work. That simple. People don't want to do work. And again, that goes back to our choices. The choice to overcome that laziness, that sloth, that darkness inside. But guys, that utopia is possible. We can live in a beautiful, perfect world. But it does not happen without the blood, sweat, and tears that we pour, without the fire that we have to walk through, the darkness that we have to walk through. There is a price to be paid for that utopia. There is a price to be paid for all greatness, and even forget greatness, goodness itself, the very concept of goodness, the opposite of evil, the enemy of evil. There is a price to be paid for that goodness, for anything good. Good has a price. Goodness itself has a price. And we pay it through the work that we do. So it's totally possible, guys, but we have to be willing to do what it takes. We have to be willing to do what it takes, and just remember that the only way out is through. Anything is possible. We got what it takes, but we got to do the work. So do the work. Let's do it. Let's make this a beautiful thing. And guys, I've very largely based all of this on that beautiful ancient race, the Spartans, and you can look at them and see all of the kind of manifestations that I'm talking about, and that utopic type of world where everybody just puts in the work that's necessary to make a beautiful world go round. And they proved that it's possible. In them, I truly do believe that we see the possibility of all things. Look them up. I'm here to talk, here to enlighten you. But I say that because at the end of it all, do the work, be truly Spartan.